Dr. Khumalo accidentally told the whole South Africa that Kaizer Chiefs are planning to loan out 6 of their senior team players. Who are those players? Well, let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club, right? So one of the things that Dr. Khumalo said is that 2 of the players who Chiefs are planning to send out on a loan are currently injured. And I looked at the players that are injured for Kaizer Chiefs. 1, you have Dylan Solomons. 2, you have George Matlow. 3, you have Tebogo Potsane. And 4, you have Umtansane. Most of these players are coming back around September, October then. But out of the 4, who are the 2 players who make sense to be heading out of Kaizer Chiefs? Now, we have to look at their contract situations, look at their age, look at the contribution they make to Kaizer Chiefs, and look at the depth in the position that they're playing. Starting with Solomons. Solomons is playing right back, is 28 in December, and his contract expires in 2026. Now, if we look at the squad depth situation, there is only one other natural right back at Kaizer Chiefs, which is Ure Frosler. The other person that they try to play in that position is Ukunika. And I'm sure with the team that Nazrat Dinabi is trying to assemble of players who are comfortable on the ball, I don't see a universe where it makes sense for Ukunika to play right back. As such, I don't think that Solomons will be leaving Kaizer Chiefs. So we can just put Solomons on the side and say he is safe and he's staying. Number 2 is George Matlow. He's 26 and his contract is ending in 2025 because it was actually ending this year, but there was an option to extend. So they did trigger that option and they've extended his contract. He's also still a young player because he just turned 26 just on the 12th of July. He's injured, but the position that he plays in has a lot of depth, right? Even the people that we're going to talk about later on, Umtansane plays a 10, there is Tutuzi Shabalala, there is Abosabol Hatebe. There is quite a lot of players in that position, but at the same time, you're asking yourself, would they have extended his contract if they were not planning to use him this season? Also, why would you send out a player on a loan if the plan is to then use him next season, right? Especially if his contract is expiring. Yes, someone will say, okay, but the thing is, he is going to go away to another team, and in January, any other team is free to sign him for free. I don't think that Kaizer Chiefs could risk sending out a player on a loan who could potentially actually be such a good addition, because before he got injured, we saw that Umatlo has started to ball, so I don't think that he will be going anywhere right now. Which leads us to Umtutuzi Mtansane, who is the 3rd player. But before I talk about Mtansane, please do the right thing. Please do the nice thing. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you very much. Now, Tutuzi Mtansane, his contract ends in 2026 as well. He's turning 29 this year. And here's the thing about him. There's a lot of depth, as I said. If you are keeping Umatlo, if you are keeping Umtu Shabalal, if you are keeping Khosi Ngcobo, there's already 3 players in that position. And obviously, there are players from development. You see that Mtansane might not fit because of that. And also, remember this, he was signed from Cape Town City, I'm sorry. So he was signed from Cape Town City, which means that Kaizer Chiefs is one of the highest earning players, right? Because, I mean, signing at 28 to come to Kaizer Chiefs, you are bound to get a lot of money. So sending him out on a loan, that means the team that will be signing him will be taking some of his salary, will be paying some of his salary, and Kaizer Chiefs will be paying the other one. So this sending him out on a loan might not necessarily mean, oh, hey, they want to see if he can develop, but it might also be a financial decision. It might be difficult to release him now, but paying him half of what they're paying him right now and have the other team pay him the half, then that might be kind of sensible for them. So I do think that Mtansane is one of those players that they might send out, because if you're looking at the contribution, there's a lot of depth in that position. If you're looking at the contract, they can't release him now, so it's better to send him out on a loan. I mean, if he performs, then they bring him out, he plays his final year at Chiefs and they can give him an extension. If it doesn't, they can send him out on a loan again and his contract expires and they let him go. But as it stands, I think he's definitely going out on a loan. Which brings us to Tebogo Potsane, who's turning 31 in September, and his contract also expires in 2026. Now, what do I think about Potsane? I think that if you look at the contribution, right wingers, right now we're talking about Elias Mkwana, Chiefs wanting to sign Elias Mkwana. In that position, you have Mfundo Vilakazi, who's clearly most likely going to be a starter at Kaizer Chiefs in that position, because we can't say he's a child anymore. I mean, Uralebule Mfukeng was playing game in, game out for Pirates as a left winger, so Mfundo will definitely be starting, and Dupree can play in that position because it's clear that Uranga, we hear that he's been scoring goals in the preseason matches, which means as number 9, we're going to have Uranga, we're going to have Utuba, we can have Umtu Shabalala playing as a false 9 as well, and you can have Mfundo Vilakazi, you can have Dupree on that right wing position, because on the left also we're not worried because we have other players as well there. So I do think that if you look at Potsane, you look at his age, and you also think he came to Chiefs as a free agent. So one of the other things that might have been sweetened for him is the fact that he might have been given more money. So sending him out on a loan, and the fact that since he came to Chiefs, I think he's had 3 injuries already, and all of those injuries took him out for a long time. So looking at that, I see that it might make sense why Kaizer Chiefs might also want to send him out on a loan. So Mtum Tanzane, loan. Number 2, Tebogo Potsane, loan. But Matlo and Solomon stay. We're still left with 4 though. So what Dr. Kumalo said, which just made me remember that there's another player who's just there in my head. He said that some of the players are here. Now, I listened to that and I interpreted it in 2 ways. One, he might have realized that, oh wow, I've just accidentally spilled the pins. So he just said they are here. Or he could have really been meaning that they are here. And one of the players that I think might be a player that they want to send out, who's still here in South Africa, that only player is Aiden McCarthy, because that guy was promoted to the senior team, but he never got minutes. He did not travel with the team to take here because he was busy trialing for another team. So they might be wanting to send him out on a loan because they've just signed Utotli, and Utotli is probably going to be a starter already as a left back, right? Or as a center back. So given that that might be a situation, and Aiden McCarthy is an asset that they want to utilize, because they clearly see that he won't be starting ahead of Umsimango or Msimango or Titlokwe or Udotli. So I do think that if that's what Ngampela Umdogi meant, then Aiden McCarthy might be that player who might be sent out. However, if we're not exploring that option, Yoguti, he really meant it and we're going for, he realized that he made a mistake. I think that there are 4 players who are currently with Chiefs on the other side that I think could be on their way out. Starting with Sayile. Sayile, the reason why they might send him is because obviously he still needs to develop. He's only 24, his contract is expiring in 2026. But the most significant thing about Usayile is not his development and whatnot, is the fact that he also occupies a foreign spot. If you release Usayile, that allows you to go get that left back that you've been wanting for that left back position, or you get a striker, because in South Africa, I don't think we'll be getting any striker. So I definitely think that Usayile is one of those players. And yesterday, when we were talking, this thing of Sayile did come up that he might be heading out on a loan. So Sayile is definitely the 3rd player that I think would be going. Let's just say 4th player, because we've counted Aiden McCarthy. And number 5 would be, as much as I don't like this, because I thought there was a plan finally for him, is Uepi Mashane. And Mashane, it's easy. Like, Mashane is one of those people. I saw, I think it was a comment a few days ago. I did not respond to it, but I read it. It's just that then there were 2 main other comments. Someone said to me, guys, stop saying Mashane is a left back because Mashane was promoted as a winger. But that's not true either, is it? Because Mashane at development, they were playing a 3-5-2. In a 3-5-2, there is no winger, there is no left back. There is a hybrid of the 2 positions, and a wing back, because a left back is simply when you are playing a back 4. There's a right back, 2 center backs, and then a left back, right? That's just a left back. But in a 3-5-2, you have 3 center backs and then 3 midfielders, and a right wing back and a left wing back. In the development, that's the position that Mashane was playing, a wing back. So when they brought him to Chiefs, since there were some players who were playing at left back, they then pushed him and played him as a left winger, and that's where you saw those crosses. So from the get-go, that's why I said the biggest problem that Chiefs has had is the fact that you promote players from development playing a different position, playing a different system, and they get to the senior team and they already have an identity crisis. Am I a left back? Am I a left winger? Because there's no longer a left wing back here. So then that became a problem for Martian as well. So I do think that right now I thought the left back was about to be a place that was going to occupy, but they signed Utotli. But on top of that, they signed Ubongani Sam. On top of that, they extended Dove's contract. But over and above that, they were wanting to sign Ule Tlaba, which shows me that they had no confidence in playing him as a left back. So that leaves a left winger. But Nakona Lapo, I'm like, they can still, if they want, play Umtu Shabalala in that position. If they're playing Umshin as a 10, they can still play Umod in that position. They can still play, always forget his name, Dona Jansen in that position as well as a left winger. So there is depth everywhere where Mashane can play. And the only position where he could play as a left back, it just seems like it was also taken away. So that's a difficult situation. But who's the final player? Can we all say it? 1, 2, 3. Write that name down. That name that you thought was going to be the 6th, I think is that player. Let's see if I agree with you. You will comment it and I will tell you, Uguti Usabelo Hateb. Did you write the same player? Because he's also the same in the same boat as Happy Mashane. Good player, yes, but game time, Dololo, depth. You see, there's a lot of depth in the position that he's playing in, and he hasn't had game time. And I think that he probably benefits from going away from Kaizer Chiefs in a moment. Do you agree with this list? Which player would you send out on a loan, if not for the other 6? If Dr. Kumalo was indeed right. Do let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals and Pelumoy.